Welcome everybody back to boostinmotion, guys, and today this is going to be an appreciation video. So let's hang out, let's talk a little bit, let's go. Now I wanted to make this video as just a slight vlog video because you know what, I would never be this far on YouTube if it wasn't for you guys. So we're gonna talk about why this 500 horsepower Infiniti is one of the best deals out here compared to other vehicles out here. So let's go, let's get into it. I'm gonna take the car to a machine wash. You guys see how filthy the car is because we had a storm here recently. Look how dirty and disgusting that is. And I'm just gonna spray down the wheels real quick. So for the wheel and tire cleaner that I use, I started using this Black Magic one recently. It's been pretty good. I just spray it right on the tire and wheel. Make sure you apply it to when the car and wheel and tires are cool. And then from then on, you do it for the rest. V6 in front of us. Always loud. Shout out to my Georgia heads. Never let these guys use the broom against your car. Look at that paint. We know that paint is messed up. I never let them broom my car. Now guys, I'm still testing out this product. I've been using it for quite a while. This is like our third can. It's called Superior Coverall. It's pretty much like a tire wet or tire spray for the rubber, and I'm not gonna lie, I do like the results of this one. It has a slight sling, but it lasts really long, and its overspray isn't too crazy, so I definitely like this. I'll put a link below to this if you guys want to check it out. Try it out. It's like $20 a can, but it's relatively really good. All right guys, so you guys always want me to show a little bit more of the car, but this is it after a fresh wash, and that is the tire wet that I just put on it. You got to give it at least, I think, 15 to 20 minutes to let it dry up a little bit. But yeah guys, now let's get to the point. Let's skip to the point. Let me just give you guys a quick walk around because you guys wanted to see the car a little bit more often. My car is literally 7 out of 10, guys. It's really not in its best, but once the car is nice and clean, look at that. Still scratched up, paint is not perfect, little water spots, but what can you do? What can you do? But anyways, again, the car, let's talk a little bit. Let's check. So this video is gonna be a little different because guess where I'm sitting? I'm not in the house, I'm in the car. So definitely hit the like button for me trying to make it slightly a vlog style, but I still want to talk with you guys for a little bit. Now, I want to be honest here. I believe that the Q50 and the Q60 is one of the best bargain twin turbo cars on the market till this day, like as of now of 2020. Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. There's not much other cars that could compete in the sense of giving you an all-wheel drive or rear drive option, also being luxurious or semi-luxurious, and also have a twin turbo motor that has a high amount of power that it can make. Hear me out. So you can lease this car for a low $300 a month, and it's still the same current year. Think about it, it's 2020. You can get a 2014 and still flex. Moving forward with the 2017s, it's a coupe, still an attractive car, and there's not a lot of people who have that. So if you see a lot of G37s, you best believe you're gonna see a lot of Q60s in the next couple years on the road. But as of right now, these cars are relatively cheap to lease. Now moving to the used market, that's when it gets a little different because you guys could get an older model, let's say BMW, Mercedes, or even Audi, and it could compete with the price. I definitely understand that. So if you want, let's say for instance, like my boy, a S6, he can get a 2013, 2014 S6 for right around the same price of a 2016 Q50. But boy, that Audi maintenance is a thing, and as much people like to sit there and joke about it and say no, that's not true, this is what the Audi, BMW, and Mercedes crowd says. When things break, things get expensive. I'm gonna hear guys sit there and say, well, what about the BMW, Audi, and RS car group? What about those cars? Once again, you can get this car for $20,000 used market, and you can spend $800 on a tune, $150 on lower downpipes, another $600 on a CATBACK exhaust, and $150 on a heat exchanger. And your car, you would have a daily 500 horsepower car on 93 fuel. Tell me, and it will start every day and won't give you no problems. As long as you don't beat on the car every waking minute of every waking day. If you beat on an M3, it will still break. If you beat on a 663 every day, it will still break. Things will go bad because it's still not meant to be abused. Most of us, when we go purchase a car, we want to purchase a car that is versatile. It still gives us a mix of luxury and performance. And I believe that the Q50, Q60 definitely do that compared to other vehicles. Of course, people are going to jump out and say, Lexus is nice, it's more luxurious. But it doesn't have a twin turbo, I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just me. It doesn't have a twin turbo. But then people are going to jump and say, well, what about Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? Well, 2020, they finally have that. It may not be as nice as the other ones on the market for other cars. Oh, you don't have digital dash. To be honest, in my opinion, I still prefer the analog dash, and I still prefer knobs and buttons over this in-dash thing. That's just my complete honest opinion. But I'm a little older guy, and that's what applies here. Yes, unfortunately, Infiniti is going down. We know that they don't have much money, so they're trying to be able to put a lot of their money into crossover vehicles. But moving forward from that, right now, there's not much cars on the market. The top tier level in this class is going to be an M3. The M3 is going to come out soon, and it's definitely going to just knock out any other competitor in this class. I have to sit there and say it because it's going to be an all-wheel drive, inline six, probably with a big turbo. Comes with 500 and something at the crank already out the hole. But when you compare that to, let's say, a Q50 of the same year, let's say 2021, and you get a 3.0 T, it's probably going to be about half that price. We might not be able to, once these cars get modified, have 700 horsepower or whatever, but that 700 horsepower comes at a cost. Also, on top of that, think about it like this, because I'm talking about for the guys who like to tune their cars too. If you want to make 700 horsepower, because I have a few of you guys who have, let's say, M3s, M4s, right? You want 700 horsepower out your M3. You got to be very careful, right? But hear me out. At this time, this platform has touched 700 horsepower. There's people making 600 wheel horsepower on larger turbos in the 85, right? If they lose a motor, as much if they're under warranty or not, they can go to a junkyard and they can find Q50s everywhere with VR30s. You can get these motors for as cheap as $1,000 to $1,500 depending on the mileage. A little bit more depending on if you need harness and other accessories. But you can get the motor for relatively cheap and swap that girl in and send it. There's even people buying these motors cheap and putting them into their 370Zs now. So shout out to Nowhere and a few other YouTubers and people outside of YouTube that are doing these swaps. So at the end of the day, is this transmission relatively reliable? Is it the best transmission? No, it's not the best transmission in the sense of being a 9-speed or even a 10-speed transmission or even an 8-speed ZF, but it handles about 500 to 600 pounds of torque. What about the motor boost? The motor does relatively good. Once you keep that girl lubed up and you keep up with your maintenance, don't treat it like a lease. Treat it like if you own it. You keep on top of your oil changes every 2,000 to 3,000 miles. The car will take care of you. Well, what about the turbos, Boost? We know that your you have an oil leak on one of them. You know what? You're right. I give you guys that. When it comes to the turbo itself, these manufacturers try to put the cheapest, most affordable turbos in a vehicle. And it's not only Infiniti, it's not only BMW, it's all of them. They do that. They cost cut. This is cost cutting and trying to be able to fit the smallest package turbo into some of these engine bays. So that's one of the downsides about it. Maybe they could have put a bit more money into the R&D into it. But when it comes to having a smaller turbo, understand when you go with smaller turbos and you try to push them, the reliability just shoots down. Pretty much. They're just spinning too fast, and heat is one of the biggest things that destroys any type of engine component, period. Once you lose oil, it's even worse. But yes, guys, and I want you guys to understand that. So I mean, I didn't really make this video to try to like defend Infiniti or defend Q50, Q60 group, but I keep hearing a lot of stuff that's thrown around about how Q50s and Q60s are trash. And as an owner, as a Nissan fanboy and an Infiniti fanboy, there's not a lot of other auto manufacturers you guys can go to and get the type of performance and modability on this current market. Shout out to Evo owners and STI owners, but they don't stay Evo owners and STI owners forever, because STI guys, once they start making 400 pounds of torque, they have to start replacing some of the seals on their motor. Evo guys, great cars, definitely loves the cars, but most of the time people want to graduate to a more luxurious car, and a lot of people come to the Q50 because it's a bigger car and it's more sensible and it's luxurious, and they can make 500 wheel every day, all day on E85 and a tune and 2 pumps. That's it, you know. And this is good, consistent power. If you want to go, or even if you want to shout out to the M4 guys or M4 CS guys, you guys get that car, boom, nice car. Throw a little JB4 on it, a little E30 in the tank, and call it a day, if you be okay with that type of power. But if you really want to go balls to the walls, you really can't do it to the level that we do it, because at the end of the day, if y'all guys lose a motor, that's a whole Q50. If we lose a motor, that's a whole Maxima. Like a 2002 Max, only $1,500. Everyone don't have that lying around, but I just know in the future this platform is going to be dope. I don't know what's going to happen with Infiniti in the future. They're going electrified, but for these cars on the used market, with the exception of the B58 of the M340s, and also we got to stop comparing the B58 to the VR30. The B58 is king. The B58 and a ZF is just one good freaking kicker. But otherwise than that, guys, if this video was definitely informative, definitely hit the like button, subscribe button with the bell notification. Also contact me at boostinmotion on Facebook and boostinmotion@gmail.com. If you guys want to support me, support the channel, Teespring account below. And guys, if you guys like to donate to the channel, I'm not saying you got to throw money at me, but I'm not a stripper. But you can definitely donate money at money sign boostinmotion, because you guys want to buy me drinks, shots, chicken wings, and gas for the car. I'm super appreciative of that. So otherwise than that, guys, you have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you guys, appreciate it. See you in the next one. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate you guys, love you guys very much. You can also check out the 2 links I posted for some of my other videos. Also on top of that, if you want to purchase some boostinmotion merch, definitely check the link that I posted also. And finally, if you've been watching all my videos and you enjoy them, please hit the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.